Oh, the Nintendo Wii. Where to start when talking about that gloriously weird little system? By marketing itself as the hyper-accessible system that even your grandma could play, these little white boxes worked their way into basically every living room in the country, let alone the world. But Wii bowling only counts for so much, and the real measurement of any system is how good its library of games is. Because yeah, this thing was built largely around what seemed like a gimmick, which means that the third-party support was very limited to say the least. But fortunately, I happen to be a fan of lots of first-party Nintendo games, and even if the Wii's catalog is a bit narrow, there are still plenty of games that were able to capture the best of what it had to offer. So without further ado, here's my list of my top 10 games for the Nintendo Wii.
Number 10.
Now look, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys right up front. This list is very Mario and Nintendo first party heavy, but a lot of the best Wii games ever feature everyone's favorite plumber in some capacity, including my favorite out of the new series, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This is the game that brings two eras of Mario together. It's got the classic 2D side-scroller setup, but with understandably improved 3D character models when compared to the new Super Mario Bros. DS game, and some of the bells and whistles we've come to expect from modern Mario games, like multiplayer for instance. This was the first Mario game to feature simultaneous co-op platforming multiplayer adventuring, and it's super dope. Even if getting stuck playing as one of the Toads doesn't feel great, getting to do classic Mario platforming shenanigans with my friends was weirdly mind-blowing at the time. And there are just enough implementations of the motion controls to make this feel like a Wii game and a classic Mario game at the same time, with things like spin attacks and backflips that we've come to expect from the 3D Mario games. And there are a few new power-ups like the propeller hat, because sure, why not? It's Mario, you guys. We all love Mario. He's on this list a lot. Don't worry about it. Come on.
Number 9.
When you think of the Nintendo Wii, fighting games are probably not the genre that instantly spring to mind, right? Outside of Smash Bros, obviously. But aside from that, the fighting game landscape on the Nintendo Wii is pretty barren, which is probably why people tend to forget and overlook one of my favorite underrated fighting games of all time, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom Ultimate All-Stars, which in my eyes lives up to more than the high standards by some of Capcom's other Versus games. Now this game shares the same basic tag team setup of many of the others Versus games, but it stands on its own not just by virtue of being on the Nintendo Wii and having a simple but deceptively deep control setup that's perfectly suited to the system, but also by having a really vibrant and awesome roster of characters to choose from. Most of the Capcom characters have been represented in other games, obviously, but even if you've never watched an anime in your life, it's the Tatsunoko characters that really stand out here. Now, I'm really not that familiar with most of these shows that all of the characters have been pulled from, but the designs of superheroes, robots, and creatures are all just full of personality, both in their character models and their movesets. It really helps this game stand out, not just from other fighting games, but other games in the series. I was able to get attached to characters that I knew I liked, but now I love because of this game. Characters like Mega Man Volna and Frank West immediately felt the way I thought they would be controlled like. And then there are literally just two giant robot characters who can only be selected on their own without a tag partner. Every tag team game should have something like this. Give me the choice between two regular boys or one very big boy. And if you did that, I'm going big boy every time.
Number 8.
Wario is gross and weird. That's his whole thing. Mario, but way grosser and weirder, and we love him for it. And the Wii's motion controls are uniquely suited for the type of weirdness found in the WarioWare games like Smooth Moves. But even in a slightly more straightforward platforming game like Wario Land Shake It, the use of the motion controls don't feel gimmicky or forced, but like a natural extension of Wario's whole vibe. Making you shake the controller constantly just feels like the sort of trollish thing Wario would want me to do. And it's still in service of what's just a generally super solid platformer because you're shaking down baddies for cash. Wario Land Shake It was made by Goodfeel, not Nintendo, so it feels offbeat compared to most Mario games, while still recognizably riffing on the genre. But the story is super strange, and I don't know if I even fully understand it yet after all these years. But that too feels right. I could never hope to understand the inner workings of Wario's mind, and that's probably for the best. But Wario's grossness and weirdness are treated with love and care. The game rocks an incredible hand-drawn animation style, some solid bops, and cool escape sequences that follow each level, where you have to dash back as fast as you can to the beginning of the stage. It brings the Wario Land series to the Wii in a way that makes sense and feels true to who Wario is deep down as a person, which is a gross weird guy who's decidedly not Mario, and you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way.
Number 7.
The success of Wii Sports showed that people love using the Wiimote as things that it's not, like darts, bowling balls, or in this case, boxing gloves. So it's basically inevitable that we'd get some version of a Punch-Out game on the Wii. What I wasn't expecting, however, was this reboot that would be so damn good. The idea of a Punch-Out game with Wii motion controls is great on its own, but Punch-Out for the Wii is the best kind of reboot. It keeps the feeling of the originals intact, but updates them in a way that feels like a logical extension of what already worked well. Because I love Punch-Out, you guys. I always have. And playing it on the Wii frankly feels like the way it was always meant to be played. It's a marriage of system and franchise that works exactly as well as you would assume it does. Look, I don't even know what else to say about Punch-Out. It's Punch-Out. It's on the Wii. It just makes sense. And all the new modes are great. And there's no feeling in the world like winning a boxing match against Donkey Kong. Now, if you want to check out more about that game, here's my video of it right here. Go check it out. You will not be disappointed.
Number 6.
Okay, look, I've talked a lot about how much I love the No More Heroes games, and their creator, Suda51, who is both a deranged lunatic and an incredibly chill dude to get ramen with. These games are over the top, violent, ridiculous, and absolutely hilarious. So I did have a bit of a debate with myself over which one is the best to put on this list. The sequel is a little more streamlined and has a better structure than the first game for sure. But ultimately, I had to go with the first one anyway because of the way this series came out the gate fully formed. The story of Travis Touchdown and his quest to be the world's top assassin with the help of his trusty beam katana. No More Heroes lets you know what kind of game it is right away. I mean, the town it's set in is called Santa Destroy. The gleefully ridiculous story is basically just an excuse for over-the-top violent sword fights and ridiculous dick jokes, making the player use the Wiimote to jack off the motion control to recharge the beam katana. That may be the single best use of the Wiimote I've seen. That's right, I said it. Jerking off with the Wiimote is the best use of the motion control on the Nintendo Wii, and they did it twice. These games are objectively bonkers, and that's what makes them so great. Suda games have this hyper-specific vibe and sense of humor that I can't get anywhere else, and bloody hack and slash combat is just nice icing on the cake. So you guys have to believe me when I say that I am so excited that we're getting No More Heroes 3, you guys. It's going to be wild, and I'm here for it.
Number 5.
If you've ever talked to me for like more than 5 minutes, it's likely you've heard me talk about how much I love the original Donkey Kong Country games. They're my favorites. We all know this, they're all great, especially the second one. Which means that the 2000s were a very sad Kongless time for me, and the rest of the world for that matter. Yes, there were plenty of games featuring the world's favorite business monkey, but no classic DK home releases in the style of my beloved Donkey Kong Country. All we got was Donkey Kong 64 and then 10 years of nothing. Okay, well fine, there was DK Jungle Beach, which, let's be real, is pretty f***ing hype, but that only kind of counts. Which means I was crazy excited for Donkey Kong Country Returns. I mean, the word returned is right in their name right there. It was back, but this time without the involvement of Rare. But without the involvement of Rare, there was no guarantee it could successfully recapture the magic. But in this case, it totally did. New developers Retro Studios fundamentally understood what makes these games so special and picked up exactly where Rare left off. And yeah, there were some motion controls now, but it is a Wii game and that's kind of expected at this point. It hardly matters when the music, level design, and platforming gameplay elements are all this good. Reviving a series after 10 years can go wrong for sure, but Retro Studios nailed it and brought DK and his pals back in a way that made it feel like they'd never left at all.
Number 4.
Now, while this is a list of the top Nintendo Wii games, not all of them were exclusive to the Nintendo Wii. For instance, Zelda Twilight Princess was one of those limbo games that released for the GameCube and the Nintendo Wii at the same time. but it is a great game. It's on the Wii, and so in this case, I'm gonna count it. Now, because it's also a GameCube game, the motion control elements in the Nintendo Wii version of Twilight Princess aren't the most natural of fits, but there also aren't that many of them, which is good because the next Zelda game, Skyward Sword, pushed integration of motion controls to the absolute limit and ended up being easily one of the most divisive Zelda games of all time. So it's okay that Twilight Princess is a dope Zelda game first and a Wii game second, although I've always thought it was kind of neat that the two versions are mirror images of each other in order to make Link right-handed to match the motion controls. But other than that, both versions are fundamentally the same. Coming after Wind Waker, Twilight Princess's darker, more naturalistic art style felt like it was harkening back to the classics like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Except, oh yeah, Link can also become a wolf now. Now, normally I'd say to let Link do Link stuff, but the wolf segments avoid taking over the entire game and manage to be fun for their own reasons. So between a dope central gimmick, a darker Hyrule, some amazing boss fights, and imaginative new characters like Midna, peppered in with a little bit of motion controls for the very first launch titles on the Nintendo Wii, Twilight Princess easily earns the title of the Wii's best Zelda game and is a true classic for the series.
Number 3.
You youngins are all so damn spoiled with your Super Smash Bros. Ultimates and your Wii U's and 3DS's. Because back in my day, we had Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Spot number 3 goes to Brawl because of course it does. It's Smash Bros, guys, come on. It's obvious it's gonna be here. And I know a lot of people found this one to be a letdown from Melee, but let's be real. There's no such thing as a bad Smash Bros. Game. Each Nintendo console must have had its corresponding Smash, and this is an immutable law of the universe at this point. We all know this. And while Brawl isn't portable like the next 2 Smash games will be, and doesn't have the comprehensive everyone is here gimmick of Ultimate, it's still an invaluable entry in the franchise. There were so many more dope new characters added. Wario, Lucario, Olimar, Ike, Diddy Kong, Pokemon Trainer. That's even before you consider the wild third-party additions like Sonic the Hedgehog and Snake from Metal Gear Solid. In my opinion, the Subspace Emissary story mode in Smash Bros. Brawl is fantastic. The reason why we don't have animated cutscenes is because Sakurai felt that YouTube actually killed the interest of the story and those scenes online, which hey, I don't blame him. The story mode, albeit a bit convoluted, was a lot of fun to play. It really felt like all the characters were somehow connected in this gigantic multi-universe. Nowadays, we're spoiled, but I truly can't stress enough how mind-blowing it was to find out that Sonic was going to be in this game. And it opened the door for basically anyone to show up in later games and helped the Smash series feel like an ode to the entire history of video games rather than just the history of Nintendo games. And that sentiment rings truer now more than ever, considering that Steve from Minecraft is in Smash now. Look, even if those things were not true, it would still be on here. It's Super Smash Brothers. What am I gonna do, not put it on here? I mean, I understand tripping sucks, but come on. No, tripping does really suck, you guys. That actually, I've already put it at number 3, but yeah, tripping, dude.
Number 2.
Now, a lot of you out there might be wondering to yourselves, is there a game on the Nintendo Wii that just makes you hype as hell every time you play it? One that gives you the adrenaline rush of competitiveness and parties and all kinds of crazy Mario vibes all mixed into one? Now, I know right now, a lot of you guys are thinking, hey, maybe it's Mario Party 8. Maybe it's Mario Kart Wii. Well, I would say that those of you who thought that were dead wrong because my game of choice in this conversation is Super Mario Strikers Charge for the Nintendo Wii. Let me tell you about this motherfucking game, okay? This game is crack cocaine mixed in with NFL Blitz, with Mario Kart, and with soccer, and it is freaking incredible. First off, the art style makes no goddamn sense. It's cool to look at. We see Mario and Wario and Luigi and Daisy and Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong and all of the minions and stuff. They all look great. They look similar to the other game on the GameCube, which is Mario Strikers. But because this game is on the Nintendo Wii, they infused a lot of motion controls. With the motion controls, they incorporated a new maneuver called the Super Shot. Every team captain, being a Mario character of some type, has what's called a Super Shot. You walk up, you hold the button down, and you choose a number and then a color. So you'd pick like 6 orange or 4 yellow. 6 orange means 6 balls really fast. 4 yellow is 4 balls at a medium speed. You then have to sit there and carefully point the Wiimote to catch the balls. But going into this whole thing is an insane animation that makes no sense. Diddy Kong becomes Buddha, also including all the Mario Kart little tidbits here and there with items and power-ups, the ability to hot swap between characters similar to that of NFL Blitz or NBA Jam, and what you have here is one of the most underrated, most aggressive, and most badass Nintendo Wii games of all time that never got its chance to shine. Super Mario Strikers Charged is so good. I wish that to this day it was still online. Now I know there are forums out there that have online servers, to which I say to you, I see you guys, and let me tell you, that's huge plays right there.
Number 1.
So it's pretty obvious at this point what my number 1 is, because I've talked about it a lot on this channel. I recently released a gigantic compilation video of all my favorite 3D Mario games. It's pretty clear that the Galaxy series is so important to me. I'm cheating a little bit when it comes to this last spot because I could not bring myself to leave either of the Super Mario Galaxy games off of this list. So I'm including the second one because I love it just slightly more, but with the caveat that I'm also lumping in the first game in there as well, because let's be real, they're both really incredible. When expanding a long-running series like 3D Mario games, the next logical step is to go to outer space. It's inevitable, right? Jason X proved that every franchise that lasts long enough will eventually just go to space, but we can only hope they do so with the gracefulness and creativity of Mario Galaxy and its sequel. The general idea of a Mario game built largely around groups of spherical platforms with their own gravity was already rock solid in the first Galaxy game, but it was refined and pushed even further in the sequel. The level design is even more inventive, and the orchestral score is somehow even more gorgeous. Also, Yoshi's freaking here, which is great because everyone knows the only thing cooler than a dinosaur is a dinosaur in space. Literally everyone I know says that. Now, as someone who played Super Mario Sunshine back in the day and didn't really have all the nostalgia and love for it, Super Mario Galaxy games fixed that for me. In fact, a lot of the great ideas that are seen in Mario Galaxy stem from Mario Sunshine. And in the end, Galaxy makes me appreciate Sunshine so much more. Galaxy 1 has a lot of missteps with regards to its modern gameplay choices, but Galaxy 2 goes ahead and takes those steps to fix them. And truth be told, it wasn't until the release of Super Mario Odyssey that dethroned Mario Galaxy 2 as my favorite 3D platformer of all time in the Mario genre. So it's honestly fitting that a system that was so defined by its first-party Nintendo games should shine the brightest when focused on Mario. It just feels right, cosmically speaking, you know? So there you guys have it. Those are my top 10 Wii games of all time. Let me know why your 10 through 2 is just every Wii Sports game. I don't know why people love Wii Sports. I get it. I get it, but it's just, I think because I worked retail and I sold so many of them that I just got sick of hearing that na. Anyways, let me know what your comments are in the boxes down below. I've been Gerard the Completionist, and I'll see you all next time for another brand new video. Bye.